Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of AchromatiCraft. This is episode 10. Guys, I didn't think we'd make it this far. It's been so much work building these farms, some of the other buildings. If you haven't checked out those other episodes, go check them out because we've been up to a lot. There's been a lot of work put into it. And as you know, last time we got this basalt generator and the stone generator built, but I've been busy since then. I want to get a little bit more of the landscaping done. So let's go out and check that out here. All right, so when you come out, you'll notice the biggest change. This was all grass last time. We've put down plenty of stone pathways. We kind of incorporated that secondary path type that we did and let it just blend into this working area. We put some holes, make it look like it's been worn down a little bit. We started putting piles kind of the basalt there. The stone, there's more of that basalt, and just make it look like this area has really been used rather than it being all clean and polished up. A lot like what we've done up with the trading hall where it's more clean and prestige. We want this to look like people have been working. There's some barrels, anvils. We even created a wheelbarrow, maybe a pallet with some stone that's being cut, a bigger one with maybe stone being ready to be shipped out. I don't know. We really just wanted to make this area look like it's been worked in. And I think we've accomplished that. We've gotten pretty good. But the one thing that I didn't want is to be able to see that from everywhere, that messy area is kind of there. So we added a bunch of trees. So what this allows us to do is to get little glimpses down in there. But it kind of blocks it off and it feels a little more cozy in here. Like people came in here, worked, let these trees grow up, and I love it. I love where it's going. I love that it feels a lot more atmospheric and that we have a lot more just lived in feel for our city. So we started doing that. We also got another pathway in up here. I started marking out some market stalls, I think is what we're going to call them, of kind of just different people who wanted to sell their goods by the trading hall. And so that's kind of a hint into what we're going to do today. Today being episode 10, I want to go big. I want to see if we can get a lot more just atmosphere, get a lot more of this area kind of built out. And so what we're going to do is get these market stalls in, and then I've got a project over here that I want to work on. And I've already done a little bit of it. It's simple redstone, so hopefully it's not too bad. If you guys haven't seen this Impulse SV item filter, item sorter, go check that out. It's easy to find. Everybody's done it before. But essentially we've set this up so that we can filter based off black, gray, light gray, and white wool. As you know, this thing is getting crazy. I have to keep emptying this where everything's going into and putting it into these, and they're getting too full. So I want to build a nice path that shoots them out, comes over here, it'll shoot up this way and then goes through the filter. So nothing too crazy, and then we'll build a building around it. But I want to get that installed today, get those markets. But guys, that's not the biggest thing I want to do. The biggest, and maybe it's going to be better to show you from down here, is something we've just been needing to do. We've got all this gray and it's been looking really good. We've been spreading it. It's kind of surrounded this big orange and green field. Like, this is too much color, guys. If we're going to be all grayscale, we got to clean this up. So today's the day. We've got plenty of carrots and potatoes in store. So we're actually going to take this down. As painful as it is, it's time. We got to make this feel more like a city center, really be kind of the core of the city. Now we'll probably put a well or something right in the middle to kind of give that homage to what's been here before. But it's coming down today, guys. So maybe let's start with that. Let's clear this out and get it ready for more builds to come in. Let me start prepping for that and we'll be right back. Okay, we are ready to take these farms out. It's so sad, guys. We've spent so much time getting potatoes here, getting carrots here, And even an episode or two ago, we automated this by putting in some redstone. But it's time. So we're going to do one last harvest. All right, let's do that one last harvest, and then we'll start clearing this out. It's really going to be taking down a lot. Let's harvest first. Oh man. Of course, my grand reveal, I had to place dirt. All right, and here we go. If you haven't seen this before, I love this. The water reaches just enough on each level where it just throws these potatoes all the way down. I love watching it pop up, the bubbles. And we'll let that one run. So let's turn this off. And let's do the carrot side. Oh, it's so satisfying. I love watching that. It's so cool just to see how many hundreds of carrots are coming down. But as you know, we have plenty of carrots and potatoes kind of stored up there. We have other ways of getting emeralds. So it's time. It's time for us to clean this up. So let's do a quick time lapse. What I'm going to do is take out all the water that's in here, take down the walls, and let's do that in a time lapse. Here we go. All right, guys, and we got that cleared out. This is so sad, seeing it go back to regular dirt. But we knew this day was going to come. We knew this wasn't going to last forever, and that is okay. We have kind of a mess. This one's not going to be fun because it's going to shoot all the water right back down. But there's no way of sticking any blocks in here. So let's do that real quick. Let's tear out this water. We'll tear down the walls, and we'll say one last goodbye to our farm here. All right, guys, that was probably a lot quicker for you than it was for me. That was a lot of work. And guys, this is really weird for me. Seeing this farm coming down, we've got a few things we can still pick up. This is a lot of land. We're going to be able to do a lot of building here, which will be good. This place really kind of needed it. And for those of you who like to see redstone, here's the crappy way I originally built kind of those triggers down there, that the line would come up the middle here, the two lines, and then we used a whole bunch of torches and repeaters. Probably the wrong way to do it. Like I've said before, I'm not great at redstone, but hey, it worked. And sometimes that's all that matters, is making something that works. So now what I'm going to do is just clean up the rest of this. I'm going to try and at least sculpt it a little so you can kind of see what the vision is for it. I'm going to plan out some roads, and then I'll be right back to show you that. So let me kind of get some landscaping done here. We'll cut, and I'll be right back. All right, and we got that cleaned up pretty well. There's still the chests and hoppers and some stuff that we need to get out of there, but for the most part, we are getting there. I just kind of went back and forth, tried to make some ripples just like you see in normal landscaping. Didn't want this to have that farm finish where it was straight across. So I don't know if this will be the final landscaping, but at least wanted to give it some curves. So as we start thinking about what houses, what objects could go in there, that we really kind of have some more natural landscaping. So we'll start thinking about what that is. But what I've done here is started to lay out possible paths. So the idea that this road comes up, maybe it meets somewhere here, and maybe there's a path that comes down. I kind of like the split path that we did over there. Might build a house here that kind of has that split through it. I don't know, we'll see. But the idea is that here, I want to build something that really kind of reminds us of um, all the farming that we did around here. We're actually going to put like a well probably in there. Not sure exactly what it'll look like, but something that was kind of like the life the life water. I don't know. I'm trying to make up a name here on the spot, but I want it to be kind of representation of how much we got out of that farm. It helped us accomplish a lot in the trading hall. It's gotten us a lot of the resources that we needed. That's going to be a good spot, but let me show you. I just built a dirt tower here to kind of get up and show you what we're going to do. But the idea of what I want to do is that so many of these pathways kind of wander through the city, and they always encourage you to kind of go down and look at some more. You can see I've laid out even some more over there. But the idea is that these cobblestones are kind of marking that path where you can come in, get to that city center. There might be a lot of stuff here. Be a pathway that comes up this way, connects with the road up here. When we're back down here, we're going to go. And what I've purposely done here is that instead of this path leading straight into that one, I kind of want there to be something at the end of this road that you could see, and it would encourage you to kind of come over and explore. And obviously you can come around here pretty quick. But that's what we're going to do, guys, is go through here. I'm going to decolorize, I guess, all this dirt. There's a lot here, and I want to get it so it's looking all gray so we can kind of get a first glimpse of what this area is going to look like without color. It's been that bright green and orange for so long that it is time for us to do that. So let me get this kind of texturized real quick, and we will be back to show you what it looks like. I couldn't keep you all away the whole time I did this. Had to show you at least got the pathways in here. Still need to do the transitions kind of between the different levels so you don't have to jump. But we've got these mostly in, I think, of kind of where I'm planning on this going. You can see I tried to keep them curved so that they don't feel like they just were dug completely straight. There's still some spots we got to figure out. This is where I put one of the lights from earlier, so we got to move that. But we have, for the most part, kind of these paths figured out. This one's a little steep, but it's going to come right down in here. There's another one of those lights that I got to move. But we got, for the most part, these pathways figured out, what they're going to look like, then how it's the grind. As you can see, I've got my inventory full, ready to start texturing this. We have plenty, I think, in different chests that we can do this small area. So let's get that done, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. All right, guys, I had to break out the scaffolding for this reveal because this looks pretty awesome. Are you ready? Here we go. Oh man, that is so much different. Still got a pathway. That's kind of a house I'm trying to figure out if we're going to do a split path. But guys, look at how cool this looks. The first time we've had kind of edge to edge of the infestation, kind of taking all the color out. We still got some torches, got to do some of that work. But guys, this is awesome. We can see all the way around the city, and it's turning gray. I think once we get some buildings in here, it's really going to do it. And as we kind of get those views of taking some of these green hillsides out, we're really going to start seeing what this AchromatiCraft really means. In the next 10 or so episodes, we're going to work on getting this village converted, getting houses filled out in here. But guys, that's not enough for today. This is episode 10. It's time to celebrate. We need to do something big. We're going to keep going. Let's get this well, and let's get some of those markets. I think we're actually going to start with the markets, and we'll kind of finish with the well. But this has been a lot of work, and we're just going to keep going. I really want this episode 10 to be one that we celebrate, kind of what progress we've made so far, and we want to do something epic. So let's go down. We'll just break this real quick, and I'll show you real quick what I'm thinking is the trading hall isn't just enough. When you think of kind of the lore of a city, not everyone may have wanted to go there and wanted to build out kind of their own little market. That's the idea here, is there's going to be these little 3x5 or similar just stands that were built by different people, and I don't know what exactly is going to go in them that would be different than the trading hall. Maybe it's more just things you sell instead of trade. But there's going to be different boosts here. So I've got one planned here, one here. This one's a little bit bigger one. Not quite sure what we're going to do for that. And then there's two more over here. And then I had an idea of kind of a little plant stand with some maybe flowers, which we're going to have to use dead coral again. But the idea would be that there's kind of some flowers that you could buy from that stand. And hopefully that's going to really start building out this area. So I'm going to start kind of designing what one of those will be, and then we'll build the first one on camera, and then the other ones I'll just hurry and throw in because they're going to be roughly the same. But man, guys, I got to take another view of this before we do that. This looks so much different. It's the first time I've been at the trading hall and been able to really see out over this whole area and start getting an understanding of what that grayscale is going to look like. All right. I'm getting too emotional of how cool this looks. Let's get that first one built, and let me go grab the stuff and we'll get going. All right, we are ready to start building this. I've done this a few times, so hopefully this will go pretty quick. I've used a similar layout before. We're going to make it obviously a little bit different this time because we're doing it all in grayscale. But for the most part, we want to have kind of just the back walls of this, so the vendor's kind of just only managing one side. We're going to put a few supports here. Don't want this to be too crazy. Should be pretty straightforward. This is going to be white. This will be white. And then I'm actually going to need some scaffolding here. So we're going to build up here and here. And since we're going to be doing some work on the front, let's just connect that for now. Here. I don't like it when the roof is all the way flat, so like it be bumped up a little bit. And then here, we're actually going to go up a level. So it kind of has that effect that it's kind of sticking up here. I'm going to pull this. See, how do we want to do this? Maybe pull it back, and then here. I think that'll look pretty good. Let's try that and see how it's looking. Then back to gray, back to white. All right, so I guess I shouldn't have put the scaffolding all the way across, kind of blocking what we're trying to do. But if you see there, it kind of gives us this shape where it looks like it's kind of bowed up in the front, welcoming you, and then kind of down in the back. I think that's really the kind of look we're going for. I'm going to put a little extra supports in here. I think that looks pretty nice. And then I always hate kind of how the front of these look, so I'm going to try something here. Let's get a little bit more crimson. Make some steps, make some slabs, and then we have plenty of trapdoors. The one thing I always like to do is just put a little decoration. I know this is a little heavy for what kind of a build it is, but I always like to have at least a little bit of trim work just to make it look a little bit nicer. Yep, I think we've got it there. So that's pretty much how easy it is. We need to pull out the floor. We're going to put a little nicer floor in there. Probably just use some of this, where is it, cobbled deep slate and some other variants, and just replace it here. I don't want it to be too much different, but I do want it to look like it's some cobblestone. Maybe it's old and worn out, kind of like the pathway is here. But I don't want it to just be the same. I want it to look like it's kind of its own little area. So guys, that's going to be our setup. So I'm actually going to go through and build another one here and two more over there, and then I'll be back and let's see what it looks like. Be right back. And just like that, we got these done. We got this one. You can see how I varied up the different colors on top. That's to kind of mimic like if one was maybe like a blue or a pink and one was a darker like purple or red or something. So we didn't want them to look exactly the same, but we only have a few colors of gray in the wool. So we kind of mix those up here. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do here. This one feels a little too tucked into the corner. Like I don't know if the road's going to feel weird going in there. We put two more over here. You can see we kind of did the blending between this road and what's in there. But guys, I'm going to need your help. I have no clue, now that we have market stalls, what to put in here. I might make one like an armor stand or an armor cellar where there's all sorts of armor. Maybe there's tools in one. Maybe there's food. There aren't really very many gray foods, so we might have to fake it. But if y'all have ideas of what we could put in here, please let me know, because I'm trying to figure that one out. I think they look pretty good. They fit the space great. Let me sleep real quick, and then I'll show you kind of why we decided, or why I decided to go with that size. So the biggest thing is, if you look kind of at the top height of this, it's really not much higher than that wall. We want that wall to look good, but not be the main focal point. So no matter where you're at, this isn't going to stick really high above it. We're still going to be able to be down here, be able to see those trees over it, and it's not really going to block the view. So I think that makes these stands kind of the perfect height for in here, where there's enough in this foreground where we can see it, but it doesn't block out our views of the trading hall. Let me know what you guys think down in the description. I'd love to kind of hear your thoughts, either what to put in here or how you think these turned out. All right, we're getting a lot done. The next thing we're probably gonna do is let's build a well down here. Since this was our main area, I really want to have something that really just feels like an anchor for this space. I don't want it to just be another walking through spot. Like over there, there's the two roads that cross. We need to put something in there too. It just feels weird having a big empty space. So what we're going to do is start digging some of this out. And then I'm going to put the well in there, and we'll be back, and you guys tell me if you think it fits in the space. Let me dig that out, and then we'll be right back. And just like that, we got that done. It's nothing fancy. It's just some of the same stone that we've been using. We might put some kind of an edge along here. I haven't thought quite about how to do that. But it's really just the same stuff that we've been kind of using throughout. Didn't want it to stick out a lot. We want this to kind of be a blending spot where the roads kind of come in and leave. We want it to look like it's been well worn. We're going to texture a little of this more, kind of like what we've been doing with putting the stairs in. So it feels a little bit more worn. But that can't be our well. And here's the thing, I don't know exactly how we're going to do water down here. So I've thought about using kind of layered glass. Actually, I might actually pull this up and use our cauldron here. It's kind of like what gets dropped in here. But my thought is that we're going to go a little bit deeper and then kind of use some wool at the very bottom, and then layers of this glass. So what I'm thinking is, if the water was like here, we can kind of do that spacing trick, where if you haven't seen this, it kind of gives it a foggy looking effect. But you gotta go down a little bit. So we'll only go down a few layers. So maybe, oh, is there a cave down there? Yep, there sure is. So we gotta be a little careful. But let's just dig this out real quick, and then we'll actually go up, and I want to put black wool here at the bottom. So it gives it a little bit of texture, but not too much. And let's hope I don't fall in that cave. All right, let's just get this dug out here. How big of a cave is it down there? Oh, that's a pretty good size one. We'll have to come back sometime. All right, let's get some scaffolding so we can get out of here real quick. And then let's go grab that black wool. We haven't used much black wool yet in our build, so this will be good. Okay, and with that black wool, we're now going to go down and start getting it placed in here. We got a lot that we need to figure out kind of down here, but this is going to be the easiest part. Let's get that in, and then let's work on getting the glass in. All right, and then we're going to put some glass. We'll break this. And that is forever gone for us because we don't have jump boost here. Okay, make sure that's all in. Glass. And of course I didn't get enough glass. Let me go get that and I will be right back. All right, we got that glass and have jumped back down in here. Let's just hurry and finish that up. We're getting pretty low on our supplies of sand. So I'm gonna have to go get that between episodes too. I think this is pretty close to my last stack. But I'm a little worried. Like I started looking at this. Yeah, that doesn't look like water at all. If you guys have any ideas, that just looks like a bunch of layered glass. I was hoping it would kind of give us that fog effect. Maybe if we make it darker down there. But that does not look like water at all. Actually, we might take this glass back out now that I put it in there and just leave kind of that bottom down there and just assume that the water is down there. We're not going to be looking in here all that much. Really, this is just kind of here for decoration. It's not functional. It's not going to do anything. But guys, that is a lot of work. We got this all terraformed. Remember at the beginning of the episode, we had 2 bright green farms here, and it was a big distraction from kind of this area. And now we have a well, we have some places to build, and we got some market stalls in. So I think this area is really starting to turn out. It's starting to go the direction we're looking for. It's looking that grayscale. So kind of between episodes, what I'm going to do is kind of finish up these little patches that I have left, transition the roads a little bit better, and bury the remainder of these torches. Then guys, we're going to start decorating. Most of our buildings so far have been functional buildings with the iron farm, the sheep farm, the stone and basalt generators. But I want to get some buildings in here that are just for fun. Getting to some of those true just straight designs and have some fun with this color palette. I think we've got a really good blend of different buildings going on here. It's time to decorate it out some more. That's what we're going to do in the next one, so watch for that, and thanks for joining me on this episode, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.